I'm LT, and thanks for watching Truck Tech. Now, whether we're out on the trail or working in the shop, you're not going to want to miss a single episode. So all you got to do is hit that subscribe button.
Question for you, brother. How on earth can you underestimate a pair of twin turbos?
Well, it probably has something to do with the fact that they're attached to a teeny tiny V6 that's under the hood of a Ford.
Get ready to be saddened, my friend. Here we are, the end of the road of the muscle trucks build-off. I gotta say, it's been a long journey and we had a good time doing it, but that's not gonna stop today. We still gotta put these trucks through the paces and see who comes out on top.
The premise of the shootout is quite simple. We were each given the same exact budget to go out and purchase whatever kind of truck that we wanted. And then we were given another budget to modify them in whichever way we saw fit, to make them both faster and to look better. I couldn't be happier with how my entry into the muscle truck shootout has turned out. And this is a bucket list truck for me. I've wanted to build one of these basically since they came out. It's an 05 Ram SRT10. 505 cubic inch V10 under the hood, and I've accentuated some of the muscle truck vibes that this truck came with from the factory. Powder coated the wheels dark gray and just kind of dressed up the front end and got rid of all that flashy chrome by adding blacked out headlights and a blacked out grille. Like I said, I'm super excited with how this turned out, and I can't wait to get it out on the road and onto the dyno and see how she performs.
I've said it from the very beginning. It's all about the transformation, and I think I achieved that. This is the 2015 Ford F150 Platinum, sporting the 3.5-liter V6 EcoBoost. Started by slamming it down, getting it a nice wide aggressive stance, putting some good tires on wheels, kick it out with a wide body kit. Then we addressed the performance, adding some bigger turbos, throwing some more air and more fuel in there. Finally, dressed it up with appearance. Raptor-style front grille, two-tone Ram intake hood, and then did some gloss black accents such as flares and emblems and, you know, just dress it up and clean it up a bit. Let's hit the road. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I am so happy to be out on the road in this truck and out of the shop and enjoying it for what it actually is. Driving this dude, that's what it's about. I can tell you right off the back, it handles way better. You know, it's lower to the ground, so you got that center of gravity nice and low. We added that rear sway bar. It's tight, it feels good, it handles well, and it's still comfortable, you know, which is important.
The best way I can describe how the SRT drives is it's pure, it's raw, it's unfiltered. There's nothing in between your right foot and the acceleration. It's a big displacement, naturally aspirated engine. So it's right there. You put your foot down and it pulls. There's no waiting for the turbos to spool up. There's no electronic throttle pedal that's gonna filter your foot where it's like, maybe you don't really need that much throttle right now. No, on the SRT10, there's a cable between your foot and the engine. So however fast you wanna go, you put your foot there and the truck is simply gonna do it. One thing you need to be careful of though is that right foot we're talking about, because this will get you in trouble being behind the wheel of this bright red SRT.
As far as the performance goes, well, that's a no-brainer. I mean, these turbos spool up super quick. We push in 18 PSI on the boost. I mean, we got more power. I could feel it. I know it's there. I don't know how much. That's what the dyno is gonna tell us. And I'm interested to see really what it's gonna put down. I mean, I'm not thinking it's gonna do 500-600 horse, which I would love to get out of it, but that's just not realistic for, you know, the mods I did and the budget I had to throw at this. So, you know, anything over 350 will actually be a win in my book. I'd be satisfied.
So the one thing you might say is missing from my build is the exterior appearance upgrades. Yeah, I know Austin did a whole lot to his truck. Different hood, flares. He honestly transformed how it looks. And this truck, I didn't really want to change much because in my opinion, it already looks better than any F-150 can, where I just blacked out a few emblems and powder coated the wheels. But in my opinion, my humble opinion I might add, the SRT10 Ram is probably one of the best looking pickups ever to roll off the assembly line. So I didn't want to change anything. I think it already looks perfect.
Feel that. 18 PSI on the boost, things rolling. All in all, I'm extremely happy with how this build came out, and I want to see how competitive it's gonna be up to that little cute red truck. I think it might be fairly competitive in some areas. You don't need to win them all to win. You just need to win enough. And we'll find out next when the two go head to head on the dyno.
Yeah, this is probably one of the coolest sounding trucks that I've ever got to work on, but sound doesn't really get you anywhere down the drag strip. So we started with 430 horse at the tire and about 480 pounds of torque, and it's a pretty simple setup.
No, that's nothing to sneeze at. It's good for a truck, but with headers, cam, and all the stuff you've done the work. See what it does.
All right, well, I'm excited.
Yeah, you're right. Sound doesn't do anything. And I'm not one to look at stuff on the internet to see what it actually should make. We'll see what it makes. $460, $535.
Not awful.
Hey, that's just burning some stuff off your headers probably, right?
Yeah, something puffed up there pretty good. Oh, yeah, there's oil everywhere. It smells like power steering fluid. And yeah, just as I suspected, that weird two-piece fitting decided it wanted not to be together.
Well, I mean, if that's the worst that happens, you're in good shape, because the truck ran fine, but holy smokes, that's a mess.
With the mess cleaned up, a new hose installed, and the power steering fluid topped off, I'll make another pull.
Made 464 and 511.99 pound-feet.
511 sounds like a good number.
Well, 511.99. I'm calling that 512.
I agree, 512 it is. I have another tune with a little bit more ignition timing in it, so I'll get it loaded up into the computer to make another pull.
Give it another bang there, see what happens.
All right. There we go. Oh, sounds so good.
Well, look at that. 473, 521 pound-feet. Now that's a tune-up.
That's not bad.
I ain't gonna lie, that's a tune-up.
I mean, what is that? 40, just about 40 more peak to peak, and I bet if we look, there might be a better gain in the mid-range.
Right, no, there is. Dude, that's 38 horse peak, but again, that doesn't tell the whole story.
All right, well, it's 2020, and they say that's what hindsight is, right? I probably should have gone with a custom ground cam. I did just pick the biggest one that they had available in the catalog, but also, like you said, this is 505 cubic inches, and it's a relatively small cam, but I'm happy with 473, and the true story will be told out on the track. So I got to get this thing unstrapped and hit the road.
I like it.
Now, we've done a lot of mods to help out with the airflow in this little 3.5 EcoBoost, but this truck's got well over 100,000 miles on it, so we might as well address that fuel system as well. We're using Seafoam high mileage motor treatment. It works to minimize long-term wear, but not only does it clean and lubricate the fuel system, you can also add it directly into the engine oil, and that'll help prevent those harmful residues from building up in the crankcase that could restrict oil flow. 1 ounce of Seafoam high mileage per gallon of gas or quart of oil should do the trick. Now, off to the dyno. Well, Pat, it's ready to go. Strapped down and locked in.
Now, I liked the red truck when it was on here, but I like the gray maybe a little better.
Definitely better, right?
Maybe.
Well, all the hard parts are in. The build is complete, my friend. I'm excited to see what this is gonna do.
Now, with those hard parts, you're gonna need a little bit of tuning to make sure those parts do what you want.
Exactly, and to do that, we're gonna use SCT's X4 Programmer. Now, this device is available for almost any vehicle out there, And if you're running a stock vehicle or even mild performance upgrades such as an intake or exhaust, it comes with preloaded tunes. And these tunes are dialed in. These guys spend thousands of hours of R&D figuring them out, trying to make these engines run as safely, reliably, and efficiently as possible while still maximizing all your power. Now, the best thing about the device, it is Wi-Fi capable. You don't have to bring it inside. You can do all your live updates in your driveway via Wi-Fi. Then, if your truck throws a check engine light, which they do from time to time, you can read all those DTC codes, figure out what the issue is, and how to resolve it and go from there. It also has other user-end options, such as if you're gonna throw bigger tires, that speedo is gonna be way off. You can calibrate that correctly, make sure you're reading the right miles per hour, and then adjust other things such as speed limiter and shift points and so forth. If your build requires a little more in-depth performance parts, such as ours did, it has the capacity to upload custom tunes from an authorized dealer. That's exactly the route we went.
All right, we're all set up. Make a hit.
All right.
Wow,
What we at?
I'm impressed. 410, 430 for torque.
410. So stock, I think we're at 350?
350s. So I'm not gonna get my calculator, that's 60 horse right there.
60 at the
Pretty good.
rear wheel.
That's pretty nice, actually. I think we're gonna have to make another hit just to see what it does.
Yeah, for sure.
So. That is 415, 438 pound-feet of torque.
415 broke 400.
Yeah, not bad.
I'll take that.
So I heard what sounds like a pair of cats fighting in an old school record player with a big cone on the end, so that must mean your dyno run is over, huh? So how'd the pepper grinder do?
Okay, so 415 horse and 438 pound-feet of torque. Now, that's pretty mean.
So there's a lot of different ways we can compare these two results. So how's it stack up, Pat?
If you just do strict horsepower per cube, so if you have yours, which made 474, so you go 474 divided by 505 inches, that is 0.09386 per cube.
Which is really good considering there's no artificial atmosphere with a pair of turbos.
That is true.
But he's got 10 cylinders.
But he's got 10 cylinders. But what's really impressive, if you got an engine that makes 415 and you divide that by 213 cubic inches, that is literally a staggering 1.948 per cube. That is absolutely impressive, especially on pump gas and something that you can actually drive.
I still made more horsepower, I still have a cooler truck, and I think there's a bottle of nitrous around here somewhere, so I'm gonna get back to work.
I see he's sweating.
He's sweating. He's sweating now.
Stay tuned in the coming weeks for when our trucks go head-to-head to determine a winner. Speed, agility, styling, and of course, brute force. Who will come out on top?
But up next, we'll rescue a classic Bronco that's hot under the collar. It's always a good feeling to give back to our viewers. And over the past 3 seasons, our driveway rescue program in conjunction with RockAuto.com has become hugely popular.
Every year, we go through thousands of applicants who, for one reason or another, get stuck on their project. And we know how it goes. It could be from lack of funding, or maybe you just started a project and got in over your head. But either way, we're happy to help. We've rescued a Ford F150 that had a 5.43 valve under the hood. And one of the most common problems they have, well, is the spark plugs breaking off in the head. So we helped the owner throw in a new set.
This 94 Bronco had such a nasty interior, the owner's wife wouldn't even go for a ride in it. And when we were done, she loved it.
I think the truck turned out amazing. It's been beautiful. I love the front. The interior is fantastic. I can actually see over the hood now to drive it, so I can't wait to drive it.
Hi, my name is Bill Shelton, and this is my 2006 Chevy Silverado.
We dressed it up so he and his dog could enjoy his beloved pickup for years to come.
And the common theme amongst all these viewers? Well, the parts that we needed to make their truck look and perform great again, we picked up from RockAuto.com. This is Cody's '79 Bronco he purchased online about 1.5 years ago. He's done some minor mechanical repair, but the 40-inch tall tires and 10-inch lift were done by someone else. He gave us his wish list, and we went on to rockauto.com and loaded up the shopping cart with stuff like a new AC compressor and a new radiator. It's easy to pick out parts that fit any size budget, and detailed images make the ordering process super simple.
Pretty much want a cool cruising vehicle. Take the top off, you know, something a little bigger and beefier and badder than a Jeep, and just go cruising.
Definitely been a minute since I cruised around in an old Bronco, but growing up, we had 2 or 3 of them all the time.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I found the love with these after I bought this one.
What made you even think about trying to find it?
I was primarily looking just for an old Ford truck, and because I'm just a Ford guy, and I came across this one, and I sent my wife a picture of it, you know, and a couple weeks later sent another picture, and a week later sent another
You just
picture.
kept looking at it, going back and
Yeah,
looking.
it just kept always right there, and so she finally's like, just make him an offer and quit sending me photos of it.
Yeah, right?
And so-
Wow, that sounds like a green light to me.
Exactly.
I know we talked a little bit on the phone and stuff, and you said you had some cooling problems with it overheating. Obviously, it's lifted on big tires, so it's not going to steer the best.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big lifted four-wheel drive, but
Most definitely. It's going down the road, you can definitely feel it even now. Just feels like it's all over the place.
yeah, it's something you definitely have to drive. You can't just, you got to pay attention. Keep it
Exactly.
between the lines.
There's no just laid back cruising on this
Right, right. Yeah, them old groundhogs, they pretty noisy, huh?
thing. Oh yeah,
You're not doing a long road trip on this guy.
definitely not. Especially not with the fuel economy.
Yeah, what you said, you make it about 10 miles on a half a tank.
Yeah.
Well, if there was ever any proof that Cody's Bronco needed rescuing, we had to pull over and wait out an overheating issue. Overheating, not the first time I've been in this predicament on the side of the road in a Ford. Well, we'll let it chill for a while, and at least we know you weren't lying about the problem.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Don't take too much, huh? Did you have the fans on at all, or?
I did. I had a fans running
Still
full
don't
blast.
take much. Old radiator hoses, I mean, you can tell, look how soft that is. That all deteriorates and stuff. Probably clogged up, not flowing as and cooling as effectively as it could.
Does this happen often?
It does. I've worked on it off and on trying to get this overheating issue to be taken care of, and it seems to be a constant little problem. Hence, y'all guys are here to help.
Well, quick little fix. Hopefully it'll be in business.
Awesome.
Next, we'll tear into this Bronco. Well, I gotta say, I think the den side is my favorite generation of Bronco. And the tire, the old school groundhogs, this is what does it for me.
Yeah, they're awesome. This is truly classic and as traditional as it gets. You can't even find these tires anymore.
Well, we're about to get wet, so I think we need to hurry up and get to work. Let's get the tools.
Might as well.
My dad was a Ford guy, and I'm a Ford guy. Pretty much the only other truck I've ever owned is a Toyota, and I wouldn't ever go back. I love Fords. Well, as soon as the cooling and the steering issues are fixed and everything's great on it, I'm gonna take the top off and go cruising around town.
So as we notice, old Bronco definitely has some cooling issues, but also just going down the road riding shotgun, I could tell that it's all over the road, and that's partially due to the lift and the big tires. But some new steering stabilizers honestly wouldn't hurt things. That'll help that dampening and rebound and just keep that steering wheel kind of nice and centered between the lines. So we'll start there. Steering stabilizers can mount in one of a few different locations. One being the frame to your drag link. Another location would be your axle to your tie rod. Now this Bronco has a dual kit, meaning it mounts in both places, and that just gives us extra help when dealing with these big old tires. One thing to keep in mind during installation is the limit of the stabilizer on full turn left and full turn right. As long as you got a buffer, good to go. So as I'm wrapping up the steering, this happens.
Look, in the game of life, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, other times you're stuck in the rain. But hey, it's not that big of a pain. I won't complain. At least my shirt It doesn't have a stain.
Still wet.
Now, CODY's Bronco suffers from a problem that a lot of classic vehicles do. Overheating, and there are a lot of parts to the cooling system that can contribute to this. Whether it's an old clogged up radiator that's not allowing sufficient airflow across its core to cool the temperature down, a stuck thermostat which would be blocking coolant from flowing through the engine, a cooling fan that's not drawing enough air across, or a number of other reasons. Now, whatever the case may be, Rock Auto has parts that'll fix your cooling problems of any vehicle, especially the 79 Bronco. So we're going to get started by draining the system so we can swap out the radiator.
Always reclaim your used fluids properly.
Got to unplug it. Ready? One finger. Oh yeah, that's heavy. Here you
One
go.
finger, two hands. Oh yeah, spilled it again.
Well, they say bigger is better, right?
Well, it's definitely gonna cool, and we did a quick test fit. We know it's gonna bolt up. All we're gonna do is swap these fans.
All right, get out here before this rain comes back.
Well, it wasn't ideal weather for this rescue, but with the cooling and steering problems fixed, Cody and his family should be able to enjoy this Bronco without any more issues.
Woohoo! That's right. Temperature gauge is staying good, staying nice and cool.
Awesome.
Steering is a lot better. We get to look forward to taking the top off and going cruising now.
Yeah.
We can. Thank you to the guys at Truck Tech.